FM, KZCT Vallejo. This is OZCAT Radio, 89.5 FM, KZCT Vallejo.
As promised, we have our Poet Laureates in the studio this morning. And I would like to welcome first Poet Laureate D.L. Lang. And D.L. is the current Poet Laureate of Vallejo, California. I know that you have some wonderful poems to read for us today. Are you ready, or would you like to take a break? Or we've got plenty of time today, so it's all yours. Okay, so DL, you go for it.
Well, this first poem was inspired by my synagogue, which is actually where I kind of got my start performing, because they had an open mic one year and I decided to take a risk and perform for the first time in my life. So I owe my start in performing to them and the musicians there. This poem is called Is. The wheel of connection, spinning in the right direction, finding ourselves again, between the imperfections, as music shields our confessions, yielding to further reflection, revealing what can be felt, yet seldom described, that which words are too small to hold. If but once experienced, we are left yearning for its return presence, no matter what name it answers to, whether discovered in the trees or the seas, within eyes and arms, or the echoes of a song it longs to be. And this poem will be published in the upcoming Marin Poetry Center anthology.
Super.
Which has a celebration on September 20th. So I'll be reading that there. But you got a little preview.
Oh my gosh, that's great. It's a beautiful poem.
Thank you. The next poem I want to read was first published in a poet's siddur, and it's a poem about keeping the Sabbath, which is called Watch This Space, and it was inspired by the Jewish prayer V'shamru, which is sung on Friday nights. And you will keep Shabbat, keep it safe from the weekly toil, and learn to just be. And I will protect Shabbat, protect it from the hurry, and learn to be slow. And we will guard Shabbat, guard it against the worldly sorrows, and know true joy. And it will keep us, inching towards holiness, connected, closer. Together, we watch this space and marvel. Together, we enter this space to be refreshed. This next one's called Reconnect. Take a time out to reprogram your soul towards an even higher goal. Renew your commitments to what is right. Rekindle that inner light by tuning out the noise that drowns out the voice of wisdom within. Return to the love that made you who you truly know you are. Ignore the storm clouds that blind your shining star. Watch again with aged eyes the images that shaped your youthful ties. You might rediscover yourself as you gain strength from memories unshelved. Spin the tracks of musical indulgence that once formed your artistic intelligence. Absorb the joyous, peaceful vibes that once set your spirit alive. There comes a time when you realize that lessons that span generations wide. You once peered inside without understanding, only to leave such visions romanticized. The magic only happens if you believe in your dreams. Ignore fear screams as you break with routine and hit the scene. Unplug the vortex of the digital zeitgeist. Escape this land of illusion, stoking only fear and confusion. Restore the heart and soul of humanity. Reading wild paranoia overflowing as the boundaries of acceptability collapse into history, demanding a return to reason from previously unforeseen dystopian pathways as fantasy becomes reality and swallows us whole. Be careful of the news you feed on. Beware the mind gardens that you seed on. Manure only fertilizes soil. You must reach higher to fertilize your soul.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Affirmations of a dream. I still believe that humanity is inherently loving, that love is what governs the soul, that the soul is the compass pointing towards the heart, that heart beats steady towards a dream, that dream will be realized only by our unity, and that these actions of unity will bring forth a time of peace. For we simply cannot continue on the paths of greed that only breed suffering and turmoil. We must cease to robotically pursue these ancient visions of division set by long dead eyes left blinded by hatred, planted in minds soured by frustration. Yet the clown emperor, he is naked, behind old flags still waving with old beliefs oft left unshaken. For here we stand, pledging allegiance to a nation built on idealistic foundations left cracked by the weight of hypocrisy. A nation built on the backs of the invisible, whose voices were long silenced, and who now cry out with wisdom against the tyranny of a flawed system. No, we can no longer endure that for which we have waited, that for which we are fated. On this day we must awaken, for history is ours for the making. But we must rise to take it, for the hour is growing later, and clocks are meant to move forward. And freedom is not easily forgotten once tasted. We are the majority. We are the ones who care. We haven't the time for despair. Nay, with every passing second we must affirm our hope. In hardship or opportunity, from the country to the city, our unity must build up community. Empowered by kindness, leaping in, faith or faithless, we shall fight until all are free. Moving through all tragedy, all together, you and me, until that dream is reached, an eternal guarantee that every earthly soul is assured a life of dignity simply by its existence.
Right on. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This next one is called Orion, about the constellation. Orion, oh Orion, my faithful companion, favorite constellation. I've gazed at you, lying in Oklahoma gutters, as a child lazing in the back seat of a car amid the farmland highways of Texas, on journeys here and there and far, from the mountains of New Mexico to wandering wine country roads, peeking beneath the wintry clouds, quiet and humble, drunk and loud. You remain a twilight guardian to this old soul since a youngin'. In the clear, crisp night you remain, and I know I shall gaze upon thee again. Your starry belt and hourglass figure, as you fight the night with rigor. I suppose, with my given name, Diana, it was so fated, that for me, your stars would shine the greatest. As I wander this earth, it seems there, you're waiting. It's called Afflatus. What life is this? Sweet, self-indulgent bliss, a respite from my toils, relaxed mind open to the thoughts golden of poets who stir my weary soul. To the persistent go the spoils. Keep sight of your dreams as they peak upon the horizon, tethering your disparate notions like a maypole in a hurricane, a whirlwind of color, never to be contained. Verse is the exhaling of experience inhaled. Chase novelty, lest your head be caked with the dust of comfort. Ingest the words of those whom inspiration touched, and soon thy muse might knock upon the door of your heart. May you be open to receiving.
Very nice.
Thank you. Well, I'll give you a little taste of my poem experience of dancing at New Year's Eve at the Oddfellows Hall a few years ago. I'm not an Oddfellow, but my friend Matthew Finkelstein invited me to come dance, so this was what came out. One little key thing is that Jewish folks call New Year's Sylvester, so that's something you need to understand this.
Okay.
It's called Happy Silverstein. It was the night of Sylvester when my fellow Jewish hippie protester invited me to take a chance and go for a dance with a bunch of oddfellows. My time of arrival was 8:18, dancing alone on the scene, watching hypnotic lasers dance. One drink in a trance. The floor is a galaxy of light. The ceiling is made of rainbows. Circles intersecting to melodies. A unicorn dances in the balcony. I watch a galaxy of paint dry for peace, while drinking in some kind of sweetness. Dancing to 60s rap remixes is like dancing to living poetry. Feeling the bliss like our day will come. Swaying among computer-generated psychedelia, my head transports to wood floors of my pad. Every move I've got is country hippie steps. Seems out of place with a dubstep, but I ain't too sure how to dance to it though. Belly dancers and do-si-doing to techno. I danced for hours, about 5 miles, among folks who had a bit more style, until my feet felt like shoes of fire. The countdown felt like a secular kiddush. As we rounded the spiral staircase to freedom, he said, "You have to wrap love around their hate." And for a split second, he seemed to echo Pete, as his words seemed to go down like tea so sweet. My head was transported to my southern hometown, while I stood in a euphoric drunken state, gazing out at the horizon line with its winter lighting. 19th century bricking with 21st century politicking, thinking about the ways that artists and superheroes were reuniting.
Oh, that's super cool.